they showed us that you could be sound or cinematographer. I didn't even know what a cinematographer was.
There's a director, there's a cameraman, that's basically it, but you look deeper into it and there's like, you know, you've got production design.
People who make shorts, people who animate.
Music, there's composers.
Casting directors.
Graphic design.
Location managers. Editing.
It's shown me all those different groups of people and what they all have to do with film.
The day before my shoot I was terrified, but it's opened my eyes to how much work is actually needed. It made me a lot more of a team player taking part in this, and I think that's really good.
I didn't expect the detail that we'd be going into, and I really appreciate that. Even with the slate, I had no idea how it worked. Knowing that makes you feel more confident on set. It makes you feel more professional than just a rookie.
Definitely feel a lot more ready than I did at the start of the week. It's weird how much a week can change you.
First day I realised this is actually really cool. A lot of people here are very passionate about film, and you can see that they're really enjoying it and they're getting tips, they get to work with professional equipment, and it's really just a good step into that world.
We've got a really, really talented group of young people who are desperate for opportunities. This creates that, makes them feel like it's possible.
It opened many doors for me.
With the BFI Academy, you get like a 3 years head start. You get that opportunity that people get at the age of 20.
I've gone on to work with them on productions, and their professionalism actually is very strong.
We now have a growing alumni network with partners such as BAFTA. So we offer mentoring opportunities, online masterclasses. We see them doing a lot of work together still. We see them making films, and we're really seeing them progress into the industry now.
I'm raring to go. I just want to start now if I could.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to later. Products can help you with your creative projects. We've also got our wonderful friends from Access VFX who can tell you about VFX careers, and they can show you how you can create your own visual effects for your films. We've got a videotech where we're showing all of the short films that are in the festival, so make sure you go and have a little look at that as well. And as you've seen, BFI Film Academy are heavily involved today. They're sponsoring this keynote talk and our networking drinks later on. And we've got Jerome and Rachel. Give us a wave, guys. They will be down there today, so if you want to find out more about the Film Academy, talk to them. They've been on it, and they can tell you what it's like to be a BFI Film Academy student. And there's free tea, biscuits, refreshments down at the backstage area, so do go down there.
Our friends at Lacey are also going to be doing a session today at 3 PM on life as a filmmaker and how Lacey technology can help you guys make better films. So definitely check that out, 3 PM NFT3.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. We also have a deal with our colleagues at Benugo's. Their grab-and-go coffee stand out there. If you've got a
we're going to have our final networking drinks. If you are over 18, be sure to it's to go. So
and we don't just run the festival, well, we do just £6
So final winner, and they will be given the Lacey Hub.
Really, that's it from today. If you need anything from us at all, come and chat to us, chat to our volunteers. We're here to help you. Have a speaker.
I do just want to say a massive thank you to the technical team here at South Bank who have gone above and beyond the past 4 days helping us put this festival on. So if you see a projectionist running around, give them a high five because they're amazing. Okay, so today's keynote is Kate Herron, and it's in partnership with BFI Film Academy, as Noel said. So Kate Without further ado, please join me in welcoming the wonderful Kate Herron to the stage.
I think when you start out, there can be a lot of mystery about how to become a director because there isn't one. I want to create these wonderful things. I have no idea how to get those on screen. I remember graduating and just feeling made. Like film is no better time to be telling it. Also, these new voices breaking for me are really exciting because I think they director. You guys already being here, like you've won, like you've come out and you're going to meet people that hopefully you're going to work with. I can't stress how much of my career is down to networking. Attend everything you can, create opportunities for yourself and use online to your advantage. There are so many brilliant shorts online, so if there's a film that you really like and it speaks to you, reach out to those people and get a coffee with them. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that they're going to say no. And it is daunting. I remember a big factor for me was finding the confidence just to reach out to people and also being able to be like, oh, hi, I'm a filmmaker. And I think, I remember actually a lot of male peers of mine were really good at selling themselves, and particularly speaking to the women in the room, I think we aren't encouraged to do that. I think it's sort of seen as trying too hard, or she's bossy, or she's a bit full of herself. And I just think, like, to hell with that. Like, because so much of the work I've been offered is because I would email people and just check in with them every month. Sometimes someone I met 5 years ago might not be able to bring me anything straight away, but like 5 years later, they've helped me get work. So I think so much of this industry is about relationships and maintaining them. One thing I will say is I think when you begin, there's a temptation with crew to work with people that are many steps ahead of you. And I think definitely go for it because you never know. But I would say, like, reach out to people that are at the same stage you are, because they're going to have something to prove and they're not going to see working with you as a favor. You can sort of bring each other up. And I think it's much better to have 5 friends on set that really want to be there then 15 people that sort of feel like they're doing you a favour, and then, you know, like clock watching and want to go home. Sorry guys, I'm just going for my glasses because they're quite glary. So step 2 is talent. So most of your time as an actor is spent waiting and not doing what you love. There are so many actors that want to be in something, so just go watch as much as you can afford, watch short films online because that's free, and then reach out to these people and write them a part with them in mind. There's nothing more flattering. If you want to do comedy in particular, I would say get yourself into that community, like attend the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, watch live comedy, take an improv class, like just really like throw yourself in. I remember when I started, I wanted to make comedy, and I had this problem that I didn't know any comedians, which is obviously like a massive issue. So I kind of hatched this plan. So I emailed a festival that had screened a few of my early shorts, and I asked them if I could produce a live comedy night for them with some comedy films, because by this point, obviously, I'd made friends with other comedy filmmakers. And they said yes, which was great. But then I programmed comedians that I'd seen on the circuit who didn't know me, that I wanted to work with. But this was great because it put me in a context now of approaching them as a producer rather than being like a weirdo at a comedy gig. So I'd say, like, yeah, again, it comes back to create your own opportunities if you feel like there's places that you can't get. I also suggest with comedians, when you start, obviously have your idea in place and know what your story is, but offer to co-write it with them. Like, I think that the fact you can't pay them more than likely, but you're offering something collaborative that will actually be filmed, you'll be flabbergasted by the level of talent you can get to work with you. Step 3, the idea. You are interesting. I think there's a pressure when you start to copy what you think people want to see. I remember trying to write something that I thought would be like award-worthy sort of short film, and it was so terrible. But making a film is so much work. You might as well make something that you're burning to talk about rather than trying to copy what you think someone else wants to see. All of you have something that makes you different and exciting. You know, like when you'd go, like in school, you'd go have dinner at like a friend's house, and you think your family are normal, and then you see their family functioning as like a healthy unit, and then you're like, oh, actually my family are really strange. Like, it might not be your family, but I'm just saying, like, find your weird or what makes you interesting and hold on to that. Sorry guys. There's a reason why the same stories are being told over and over again, and we're still paying to see them. It's because at the center there's someone new telling that story. And if you feel that you're empty on ideas, but you know you want to write, like, just go live a little. Like, travel if you can, or get a job outside the industry. Like, you'll find what you want to talk about if it hasn't hit you already. Step 4, but I have no money, Kate. Okay, so you've networked, you've got this great idea, you've got your team, but like, how the hell can you afford it? Because filmmaking's expensive. Okay, so first, like, wave goodbye to holidays, haircuts, having dinner out, and just save whatever you can. This is now the budget for your next film. Keep it to 5 minutes or under, because those are so much easier to program at those bigger festivals, and it's going to help you get your foot in the door there. And it also means if you are working on a very low budget, you can make your money go further on screen. See if you can borrow a camera, or if you studied at university, ask if you can borrow some of their kit. If they won't let you borrow their kit, hire some of the students that are currently there as assistants. They can get you kit. Or, you know, just borrow a really nice iPhone. Then cribbing from basically Robert Rodriguez's book, I think that just make a list of all the locations that you have easy access to, whether this is like your parents' house, your flat, a park that you know is usually not very busy on a Wednesday. Like, and then you're going to tweak or write your script to fit those locations. Also, go for locations that are nearly ready in terms of design, so you don't spend all your money on props. Try to work with crew who are local, or just let them crash at your house to save money on transport. If you've written this first one with your cast, hopefully they'll do it for free because they have as much investment in the idea as you do now, because you guys are a team and you're friends, so you can just be upfront with them about your bank balance. And I would always suggest just be upfront about the budget whenever you're getting people on board, just so there's like complete clarity on that. Get insurance, like, just do it, guys, because if you don't have insurance, something will go wrong and it's going to be a nightmare. And lots of companies offer really good deals for smaller, low budget films. Okay, so everything I just said, I did on my short Valentine. which was my first short that got into those bigger sort of A-tier festivals. It was the first film where the idea really felt like me, and I didn't feel like I was sort of trying to be someone else. And we made it for £200 because that was all the money basically I had in the world in terms of savings. This money went on food, some balloons, and insurance, and everything else I managed to make happen because of what I just said. On the subject of food, feed people properly. I can't emphasize enough the power of the potato. So yeah, I mean, I really love potatoes, clearly. But I would just say, like, make a ton of jacket potatoes because they're cheap, with different fillings, so you're covered on allergies, like it's good energy food and it's warm, and you'll make a much better film. I think there's nothing more devastating than helping out a friend on their film where you've been out in the rain all day and you're freezing, and then lunch arrives and it's like a cheese sandwich that looks like it arrived in the world before you did. Like, no one is going to make a good film on that. Okay, so step 5, don't forget your audience. So when you finished your film, send it to a few film festivals. I remember I made the mistake of sending it to like nearly all the film festivals, and I nearly bankrupted myself. So I'd say try and pick a few. I would generally say, if it's your first short, definitely like aim high, but you might have better luck at the A-tier festivals that are just short film festivals, just because there's more programs for you to get into. And more importantly, I'd say, like, don't delay getting your film online. I always feel like you build up your industry cred and you meet fellow filmmakers at festivals, and it's great because then now you've got a thing where you can email people when you check up with them and say, well, hey, I'm just checking in because my film is playing at the BFI Future Film Festival. But online is where you're going to find your audience. And more importantly, online is where the industry types that you want to see your film and that are going to give you those opportunities are more likely to watch it, because more often than not, they're not attending short film screenings. And be savvy, I'd say, about when you put it online. For example, if your film's about a relationship, put it online on Valentine's Day, because then you can piggyback off all the articles that are going out about Valentine's Day, meaning that your film is going to travel further. Step 6, don't give up. I think it's important to remember for your own mental health that with online, people are only presenting the successes. You're seeing like kind of like a shop window of someone's life, like you're not getting the whole story. I only post online about the successes. So with that in mind, here are some of my favorite rejections that I've had over the last few years. Okay, so this was a reply to a script that I'd spent a good year on, like literally 10 drafts in. Hi, Kate. So I'm assuming that this is a first draft. Yeah. Second one. I sent a project to a production company that had basically just made something pretty much the same. I mean, I was even nervous about it because I was like, oh, well, I don't think they're going to make this because they've basically just made the same film I've sent them. Their reply: we're sorry, but we don't make films like this. My personal favourite, because this one was in person and not over email. We aren't entirely sure why you chose to write this. So, yeah. So my point is, have an understanding that everyone is getting these. We just aren't sharing these online or on camera. But the takeaway is, those rejections make you ready for when a yes comes along and you seize it. And you're going to need the resilience because there's going to be a lot of rejections. My other thing I wanted to say is make sure you have a safety net in place. Freelance work can take ages to pay, which can cause despair when you aren't in a financially stable position. So have a day job, something you can be doing to keep yourself afloat. If you don't feel there's a place for you in this industry because you have a low income, there is, firstly. But also a really good starting place, there's 2 organisations, one called the Arts Emergency and one called the John Bradbourne Award, and both of them offer support. You need to, I think, kind of think of beginning a film career a bit like Batman. So it's going to be like this kind of weird double life for a very long time. So it's kind of like 9 to 5, like worker by day, and then rebellious artist by night. And the last step of my weird pyramid scheme, step 7, yes, be ready is the last step. So in 2016, basically, I'd had a run of good shorts, all basically that were brought to me because of what I've spoke about today. But at the time I was working at the NHS as a secretary, and because of budget cuts, I was about to lose my job. And I remember that was quite a terrifying prospect because I was going to be unemployed and I wasn't sure how I was going to make rent. And then I got a text from someone that I knew through networking, and she asked if I was busy in November. And then 3 months later, I was directing Idris Elba on a BBC Three show. So I would just say I got that job because I took a chance on myself those 5 years ago when no one else wanted to. And the opportunity is going to come when you least expect it. I refused to disappear when the rejections came, and I learned how to do my job well by choosing to go out and just make films. So don't wait for this industry to decide that you are worthy of a space, because you don't need the approval. Just go make something. Oh, and like, respect the potato. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Herron, massive round of applause, please. Thank you so much, Kate. All right, guys. So we're going to go to our first sessions now. So if you want to head straight over there, if you're in this